Hey there, this is Rick. I hope everyone's having a great day. Okay, speed awareness course. When I was in North Wales a number of weeks ago now, I got caught for speeding. It was one of those really sneaky ones at the bottom of a hill. I'd literally just come straight out of national speed limit into a 30 zone, and it was it went 40, 30, and then there was the camera. But the problem is there was no markings to mark the threshold between the 40 and the 30. So I basically thought I was in a 40, but technically I was in a 30 because there was a system of street lights. So like I say, it was a really sneaky one, and I know North Wales police, they tend to be notoriously bad for speed traps. They just have them everywhere, and people, I think it's one of their biggest revenue generators. And anyway, so I was offered the opportunity to go on a speed awareness course instead of having points put on my license. And I was I'm in an hour about it. But obviously, it's if you go on a speed awareness course, they don't take any further action. You still have to pay £100 or £95 for the course. But anyway, I opted for the course, and it was okay. I mean, basically, if anybody comes to this video because you're worried about a speed awareness course or you're trying to find out any more information about it, don't worry about it. It was fine. In fact, it was a little bit entertaining. It was just you go and sit in a classroom. There's normally about 20 of you. You sort of sit in this classroom type environment. I mean, where we were in Newbury. And it was this art centre, and they had these conference rooms, and all it is like going to a lecture. And you sit there, they give you a little bit of paper, and we had these little buttons that you could vote on, and it's all done very anonymously. You don't have to stand up and say who you are or anything like that. And basically the other people there was basically about 2 or 3 different types of people. There was the sort of what I call the normal people. They were just kind of there, and you sort of, you give them a nod, and they say, you get caught? Yeah, I got caught. Yeah, you got caught. A little bit embarrassed to be there, but we were kind of all in it together, so it was okay. Then you got there were a couple there that were, you could see they were very, very stern. So right, I'm going to sit here. I have to get through this 4-hour course, and then I'm going, and they were just trying to get through the course without interacting with anyone or anything like that. They were obviously very embarrassed or very inconvenienced to be there. And then there were the braggers. There was a couple there that had, this is my 3rd course, and they were quite outspoken. But overall, it was quite a good. I mean, obviously, you can do them in the morning, you can do them in the afternoon, or you can do them in the evenings. I took an evening one, and it was fine. It was not a problem, and it was really, really interesting actually. I learned loads, and I suppose because I've been driving for 29 years, and I've never ever had a ticket or anything. This is my very first one in 29 years, and so to me it was like a bit of a refresher course, because obviously you do your driving test. I probably haven't picked up the highway code in 29 years, that's probably typical of lots and lots of people. And so this was kind of like a refresher, but it was really, really useful. And one of the things that they teach you is about there's this kind of this law of physics exponential curve that they try to teach you about, and it's really, really, it was a real eye-opener. Basically, when you brake, most of this slowing down only occurs in the last bit of the braking. The early on bits of the braking, you're not slowing down very much. And they gave an example, is if you're, say there's somebody in the street and you suddenly slam on your brakes and you're doing 30 miles an hour and you just missed them. If you were doing like 32 miles an hour, because what they're trying to stop is marginal speeding, where you just go over a little bit of the speed limit. But what they're saying is that if at 30 that you just stop and you miss these people, miss the person. If you're doing 32, I suppose you'd automatically think that you'll hit them at like 2 miles an hour because you're doing 2 over the limit. But it turns out, because of the way this exponential curve works, you actually hit them at 11 miles an hour. And if you're doing 35, you hit them, I think they said, at 18 miles an hour. So just tiny little creeps over the speed limit, and your impact speed is considerably more. And it was really, really fascinating. And also, I picked up a few pointers as well, where sometimes you'd be driving down a road and you're not entirely sure what the speed limit is. And what they basically say is, it's like, if there's a system of street lamps, you just assume it's 30 unless you're told otherwise. And a really good way to pick that up is if you see any of the side roads going off from the road you're on, if those side roads have got speed limit thresholds on them, say you're going along what you think is a 40 but you've got no 40 signs, if there's a side road going off and it's got 30 signs, then you know that the road you're on is not 30, because that's marking a threshold of a change in speed limit. This is all stuff we should know anyway, but to be honest, let's be honest about it, over the years of driving and stuff, these sort of little nuggets of information tend to kind of slip away from us. So I really recommend, if you do ever get caught by one of these cameras, and you can't go on a speed awareness course without actually being caught, you can't just kind of register to go on one. But if ever you do get the option to go on a speed awareness course, take it, because they are, I must admit, they were, this particular one, I mean, obviously I can only speak for the one I went on. You could see the course was written by, kind of government people, and it could have been incredibly boring and incredibly patronising, but the people running it, there was two people, I think they were a couple, an older couple, and you could see they were trying very hard not to make it patronising, and I think they did a good job. So there we go. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on the speed awareness course. If you are unfortunate enough to get caught on one of these ridiculous speed cameras that are parked at the bottom of hills and are there to obviously get some money out of you, do go on the speed awareness courses, because they are, you will gain something from it. And another thing, what they say is, if you get caught for speeding, I think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. If you don't go on a speed course, 1 in 3 or 1 in 4, I can't remember what the exact numbers were, will likely get caught again in the next 4 or 5 years. I can't remember the numbers exactly, but they're saying if you went on a speed course, it's only 1 in 12 will actually get caught in the following sort of 4 or 5 years. So there's obviously it has an impact, in that respect. But there we go. So that's just my thoughts on the speed awareness course. I'm sure other people have been on them and might have different opinions to mine. But this was my opinion of it, and I feel like I'm a better driver for having gone on this course, and I would recommend it. So there we go. Just a little bit of a video for anybody interested in the subject. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.